Hi stars, Mr. Kraft here, and I am helping your teachers teach Positivity Project character traits this week. This week, we will focus on the character strength purpose. Purpose is very, very important, both to students and to adults who work in the real world. When you have purpose, you are seeking or trying to do something that is bigger than yourself. You're trying to do something that does more than just make you happy and or successful, but that gives back, contributes, somehow gives positivity to the world around you. So, as we work on purpose this week, I also want to tie in some current events that are happening in America so that you understand some of these current events and the way they affect us, and also could probably help you in having a life that's full of purpose. So let's talk about this important court case. You may have heard about a man named George Floyd. Well, Derek Chauvin was a police officer who was on trial in court to determine if he was responsible for George Floyd's death. There was an incident in Minnesota about a year ago. George Floyd got arrested outside of a store near where he lived. This was because of a small crime he was suspected of in the store. When the police arrested him, they placed him on the ground, and the officer pinned him down in a dangerous position for a long time. George Floyd was not resisting or fighting, and he said he could not breathe, but the officer kept him in this position, and George Floyd died as a result. That police officer was Derek Chauvin. When Chauvin was pinning George Floyd down, there were neighborhood people around asking him to stop. They were also recording the whole incident, and their videos were shared with the news and on social media. So the whole world saw this terrible event. George Floyd's death and others like it sparked protests across the country, with protesters demanding that there be justice. Derek Chauvin's trial ended last week, when the jury decided that he was guilty. Now, stars, this case was important not just because a lot of Americans wanted to see what would happen as far as justice for George Floyd, but also because what would be the outcome of this case compared to other cases like it that have happened in recent history and even going far back into American history. I'm not sure if you know this, but across the country, there are groups that keep data on things like people who've been arrested, what they've been arrested for, like what crime was it, and then after the arrest, when they get to court, what kind of punishment did they get? Okay, we call all that stuff the justice system. And when people look at the data, one of the things that they find is that there are some groups of people in America who seem to be arrested for certain crimes that other people are not arrested for. And when they get arrested, the punishment they get is sometimes harsher or longer or bigger than other people who've been arrested for the same crime. It shouldn't happen. It is not fair. But when they look at the data, they find that that's true. This unfairness especially affects Black and African Americans and other people of color more so than it does white people who've committed crimes and gotten arrested. Because of all this, people really want to watch and make sure that the justice system, everything from the way the police handle the person who did the crime or is accused of the crime, even if they didn't commit it, to what kind of punishment they get, and make sure it's fair across all people. Now, I am not saying that the police are trying to be unfair or that the people who work in the court system are trying to be unfair. I think they have hard, challenging, dangerous jobs, and we should respect them and take care of them and have relationships with them. But when you look at the data, there is reason that a lot of people were super concerned. Are we going to get treated fairly? Because there's been a bunch of other times in the past where we haven't if we are people of color. That's another reason why this particular court case was so important to so many people in America who've observed some times where things were not fair, and they want to make sure it gets better. So let's tie this idea of justice to purpose. We want to be someone who makes the world a better place. That's part of our purpose. One way we can do it is by doing anything we can to make sure our world is a more fair place. If you're someone who's experienced injustice, bias, racism, I encourage you to share your story with friends, with teachers, obviously with your parents. The more caring people around you who understand what you're going through, the more allies you're going to get, the more people who change their mind and become a better, more accepting person because they heard from you and what you struggled with, you could change them. And you could also turn them into better friends who will take your back if you deal with that again. So if you're comfortable, share your stories. And if you're someone who really hasn't had to deal with bias and racism as much, I mean, everybody has been treated unfairly at some point, but I'm saying if you're in a position of privilege or advantage where you haven't had that as much, you need to be an awesome listener to your friends, to kids who are not your friends, but who have dealt with something really hard, and let it affect you and the way you look at them in the world. By having that change, it might embolden you and give you the courage to look for injustice when it happens and to stand up for people who are being victims of people who are being unfair and biased. All right? Not an easy thing to do, but the way we start is by what I just said and all this work together. All right, find your purpose this week. I'll talk to you next week when we discuss leadership.